Let's move ahead. Now is the session of paper presentations. As I have already said, we have received more than 200 plus research paper, but only few have got an opportunity to present their paper over here in this international e-conference. Our paper presentation session has been divided into 5 technical sessions, and each technical session carries 14 paper presentation. Now let's start with technical session 1, requesting Assistant Professor Kajal Gala ma'am to present her paper.
Greeting to one and all present over here. I am Kajal Gala from Department of Management Studies of Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College. I take this privilege to start with a technical session today. I would like to present my research paper on a topic, a study on a sustainability of a cashless society with respect to Mumbai city. What is a cashless society? A cashless society determines an economic state where all our financial transactions are done using a card or a digital means. The circulation of the physical currency is minimum. We all are living in an age where the piece of a plastic is defining our wealth. We are living in a times where the technology and the advancement are at a peak. We have left many old ways behind, but in this rush of the modernization, we have lost our cash somehow. A cashless society is approaching with a progress particularly pronounced in a certain part of a world. Any transaction which is cashless in India is an effort to move towards a cashless economy by minimizing the use of the physical or a hard cash such as the coins and the notes. This study analyzed the cashless society as this can benefit both the country as well as the environment. Cash is one of the most important paddle of our Indian economy cycle. In this study, I have compared India to our developed countries and find it out that what were the challenges and the opportunities which were associated with the cashless transactions. Objectives of this is to study the environment cost of cash, to analyze the effect of pandemic on a cashless society, and to study sustainability of a cashless society. For the study, I have taken the two hypotheses. X0 signifies that there is no significant effects of a pandemic on a cashless society, and H1 signifies that there is a significant effect of a pandemic on a cashless society. Research methodology which I have used over here is the secondary as well as the primary source. Primary data is generated through an online survey. The population targeted for a study are Mumbai-based individuals which are ranging from the age group of 18 years to 40 years and above. A sample of 62 respondents was collected by sending randomly the survey, and the communication was done through an email and the WhatsApp. Secondary data is collected via a reliable website. So when the question was asked, like, how much time they use the digital payments before COVID-19, the 50% of the people said yes, they have used before the pandemic as well. And the 10% people told that they haven't used the digital payment before the COVID, but they had started using after the COVID. So when I asked them the question like which type of the payment system was they preferring, 20% of the nearly 20 to 25% of the people told that they were using a hard cash, whereas 45 to 50% of the population told us that they were using a debit card, credit card, or the other means of the digital payments like UPI, digital wallet, or an net bank. Now, the same question, even we are still in a lockdown state. The lockdown got completed, but since the COVID has not completely eradicated. The next question which was asked to the respondent was that, did you use the digital payments after even the COVID-19? The 10% of the people told that no, they are not still using it, whereas again the 50% of the people said that they are still using the this digital payment mode. So here, with this hypothesis, we have just found out that there was no significant effect of a pandemic on a cashless society. This was accepted. Just because even before the pandemic, that only there was a 10% of the people who were using the hard cash, and there were 50% of the population which were using the other means. Whereas the same after the even after the COVID, the 10% of the people are using the cash and the other are still another 50% are using the digital mode of a payment. So according to our survey, we find it out that a certain level of education is required for the use of digital payment system. My suggestion to this topic is that the payment interface should be made more easy, and there should be the more and more awareness should be spreaded among the people. With respect to our current situation, keeping this pandemic and the social distancing norms in the mind, we need to make a minimum human contact. Our suggestion to the coders and the application developers is to create a better and a more secure system, so that because still the people are frightened of that our money is not so secure. So that is why the people are putting their as the people are putting their hard money at risk. It shouldn't get stolen. As the businesses are getting online, the risk of cyber attacks are keep increasing day by day. So it is also important to have a control on how fast these changes are taking place, because some people might find it difficult to keep with the space of development. Some people may find it hard to grasp and understand the digital payment system or a fintech. Also, there are the people who are heavily reliant on a cash because they do not have a proper source or a bank account. So the conclusion drawn to this study was, and it is not an economy, we can everly or completely we can go the cashless. Cash will continue to play this role. If one reduces the use of cash, the compliance level of other things will get better. Now, when I say it will get better, I would like to give an example that there will be a better recognition of an economic activity, more efficient collections of taxes. A less cash economy may well save some of the non-renewable visible resources and facilitate some of the potential systematic benefit of sharing the platform and recycling the schemes for a broader circular economic benefit. Digital payment systems are helping our local vendors and many of our customers as well, because they are finding it is a very innovative way. It has managed to keep our economy alive and also help to reduce the contact with respect to current pandemic norms. The people who are using this system should also encourage others to give it. Although if we look at a bigger picture, central bank enact the monetary policies by taking the control over the amount of money which is printed, in which the circulation they are able to do, because they are the only entity of printing the money. So here the purpose is to control the flow of cash in the economy, but in the society which is cashless, it is bit harder. There are even other entities too that can create a money. For instance, the Facebook few months ago announced that they are looking forward to launch their own digital currency. The point is that the digital payment system is a great opportunity for making an economic cashless, but we should have a look out for the consequences as well. Also, the government needs to make sure that we move towards a cashless society. No one is left behind in it. So, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for this amazing presentation, Kajal Gala ma'am. Now we'll be moving forward towards Mr. Yatish Rajput's presentation.
Good morning, ma'am. My name is Yatish Rajput, and I am from TY BMS, roll number 37. My topic is women entrepreneurship. Definition of women entrepreneurship: women who innovate, initiate, or adopt business actively are called women entrepreneurs. Women entrepreneurships are in development in India. Women entrepreneur may be defined as a woman or group of women who initiate, organize, and run a business enterprise. Government of India has defined women entrepreneurs as owning and controlling an enterprise with a woman having a minimal financial interest of 51% of the capital and giving at least 51% of generated in to the woman. Problems of women entrepreneurship. Wrong attitude of the society against women due to lack of proper education and information, economic backwardness, and low risk bearing capacity. Managerial problems. This is due to lack of enough knowledge of general management and experience, lack of skilled labor, and low labor turnover, lack of clear-cut objective transportation problem has been the problems of labor. In the course of this study, it has been observed that the women entrepreneurs in the selected group faces various labor problems in the India's unit. Less confident women entrepreneurship are not confident about their strength and competence. Their family members don't stand by their growth. Organization promoting women entrepreneurship in India. First, National Resource Center of Women (NRCW). Second, Women India Trust (WIT). Development of Women and Children in Urban Area (WCUA). Women Development Cells (WDC). Steps taken by the Indian government. First, specific target group. It was suggested to treat women as a specific target group in all major development programs of the country. Second, arranging training facilities. It is also suggested in the chapter devices and diversify vocational training facility for women to suit their changing needs and skills. Third, developing new equipment efforts should be made increase their efficiency and productivity through appropriate technologies, equipment, and practices. Third, marketing assistance. It was suggested to provide the required assistance for marketing the products produced by women entrepreneurs. Last, this decision-making process. It was also suggested to inno- involve involve the woman in the decision-making process. Conclusion: one woman being almost 50% population of India have a role to play as far as the economic development of the country is concerned. India is a male-dominated society, and women are assumed to be economically as well as socially dependent on male members. Second, women's entrepreneurs face lots of problems like lack of education, social barriers, legal formalities, high cost of production, male-dominated society, limited managerial ability, lack of self-confidence, etc. Various factors like pull and push factors influencing women entrepreneurs' success full of eating. Businesswomen in India. The government has increased the importance of women by adopting various schemes and programs for their participations in economic activity. If the problems of women entrepreneurs are addressed properly, they can emerge as very useful entrepreneurs, far better than the men entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yatish Rajput, for this presentation. Now we'll be moving forward towards Miss Prutha Shah's presentation.
Greetings to everyone. My name is Prutha Shah. I am from Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College. My topic for research paper is social entrepreneurship and my mentor is Kajal Gala. Let's start with a definition of social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship is all about recognizing the social problems and achieving the social change by employing entrepreneurship principles, processes, and operations. Our next topic is who is a social entrepreneur? A social entrepreneur is somebody who takes up a social problems and meets it with an innovative or path-breaking solution. Since profit making is a secondary thing, therefore they are people who are passionate and determined about what they do. Our next topic is contribution of social entrepreneurship in India. Social entrepreneurship sees social benefits as primary and profits as secondary. This helps in getting product services at affordable prices. Social entrepreneurship addresses social problems which include illiteracy, child abuse, finance, health, etc. Our next topic is basic traits of social entrepreneurs. Our first topic is social mission over financial mission, innovative solution to social problems, impact which could be measured, high risk taking capacity. Social entrepreneur has vision and foresight as well. Our next topic is roles and responsibilities of social entrepreneurship towards Indian society. Social entrepreneurship can influence a society by its unique service aimed at social upliftment. Social entrepreneurs in India face certain problems related to the mindset of people who do not want to change their way of thinking. Employing local people who have minimum skills and qualification is the biggest responsibility of social entrepreneurs. Our next topic is challenges faced by social entrepreneurship. Confusion with social work, arranging finance, shortage of talent or dedicated workforce, resistance and delay in bringing the change. Our next topic is measures to face the challenges. First, proper training and development of institutions. Second, inclusion of social entrepreneurship in the course syllabus. Third, creation of mass awareness. Fourth, providing infrastructure and basic facilities. Here we come to an conclusion. Social entrepreneurship is the best combination of social services and entrepreneur skills to look for social problems. Social entrepreneurship can change the face of society in India. The level of healthcare and education has also been increased because of social enterprises. Lastly, my suggestions. Support hubs that support social entrepreneurship. Second, circulation of social entrepreneurship. Third, government of support pertinent entrepreneurship. Fourth, youth participation. Here we come to an end. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Ms. Putha Shah, for this presentation. It was an amazing presentation. Now we'll be moving forward towards Mr. Aftab Sheikh's presentation.
Hey everyone, good morning my respected teachers and my fellow mates. I Aftab Shaikh from Thakur Shamnaran Degree College representing a research paper on the franchisee development of Subway Company. First I am going to show you the index of this research paper. The first is the abstract, keywords, objectives, introduction, literature review, main content, research methodology, findings, conclusion, suggestions and reference. Okay. So you all know about the index, so now let's get started. First of all, I'm gonna explain you what is a franchisee business system. A franchisee is a type of license that grants a franchisee to franchises property business knowledge. That means I have started a company and I want to expand this business, so I gave a franchisee to another person. It means that the other person can open a branch of my company or another store with same logo, same branding and same trademarks in another place, and he can sell the same products that I sell under my business name. And by giving franchisee to another person, it is the best way of expanding the business and the brand's reach to a new customer. That means that I am the franchisor and the person I'm giving the franchisee is the franchisee. Sorry. That means I'm the franchisor, and the person I'm giving the franchise is the franchisee. Then the franchisor hands over the rights of usage of his or her product or services to the franchisee. Okay, so let's discuss the advantages and disadvantages of the franchisee business system. First, start with the pros. First is failure rate is low because the business is already been set up, so it is obvious that the failure rate is low. Hence, the franchisor is already set up the business and have a good reputation in the market of his brand and the business, so it is easy to set up the business from the franchisee, the one who take the franchise. Second, low risk factor. As I already said, there is very negligible risk. Third, as the franchisor has already been set up the business, the people have trust on the brand and can and at the end the franchisee can make a good amount of profit. Fourth point is the franchisee does not need to market much as they get an already established a brand. It is obvious the market has been set up for the setup. The market has been set up for the business or the brand. So it is easy for the franchisee, for he or she does not have to market much about the product. Okay. So let's start with the cons. First, there could be conflicts among the franchisee and the franchisor regarding the profit margin, regarding the selling techniques. Second, as for the financial statement, for the financial statement shared, there is lack of privacy, obviously, and the main cons of taking a franchisee is that the franchisee does not have any right to make a decision independently. They have to ask to the franchisor and then they should act upon it. So I think it is the main cons of taking a franchisee. Okay, so let's discuss issues faced by the franchisee. First, unable to fulfill the requirements of the franchisee. For example, Subway requires a lump sum of 100 square feet and a lump sum of requires 10 to 15 lakhs of investment, which can be difficult for the entrepreneur to get on their initial stage. As someone is starting a business, it is very hard to get an amount of 10 to 15 lakhs and invest. It is a big task for the franchisee to find and uh, location. Okay. So the next factor is it is a big task for the franchisee to find a suitable location where he or she is aware of the customer's choice, where the franchisee gets a huge amount of customers. And it is obvious to know about the target audience for the franchisee. And the main important thing opening a subway outlet is to hire accurate resources in managing the work. Next, so the general points to remember and managing a subway outlet is first, the higher staff should be good in communication skill. It is obvious that the staff should be well in communication skill because as you ever gone to a subway outlet, the customers and one working at the subway should have a proper communication because the subway is a restaurant where the customers have the right to customize their sandwiches, etc. So the higher staff should be polite and decent and should have a good communication skill. As the staff with good communication skill, it is also important to trustworthy person have a trustworthy person to manage the cash flow of the business. As you are running a restaurant, there should be as you are running a restaurant, so there should be never shortage of food and resources. There should be a backup of staff in case some of the staffs are day off. Obviously, there should be substitutes. Okay, so let's get to the objectives. The objective of the research work is to identify the issue of the entrepreneur for establishing such startups. Second, to understand the strategies of an entrepreneur to grow the franchise business system. So let's conclusion. Franchisee business is lucrative system of business provided the entrepreneur keeps the following in mind: a proper analysis on the franchisor and the product. It is obvious that there should be a proper analysis. Franchisee should have a depth research on the target audience. Okay, it is also important. There should be well trained and polite staff members. Okay, as I discussed earlier. Cleanliness has to be maintained and the place should be properly sanitized. As per the current situation, it is obvious. Having obvious, having offers on festive timings or weekends to attract more customers. Yes, it is the best strategy to attract customers. Okay, last suggestions. To get the best results, basic marketing strategies should be implemented. Implemented. Okay. Staff incentives models should be strong so that all the customers are equally treated. Yes, it should be a, like, it is a main important point uh, of these suggestions, because the incentive should be equally distributed among the staff. So because if it is not distributed equally, there should be grudges among the staff members and they should have debates or conflicts among them. All staff should be well trained beforehand. Okay, training session should be there. Be decisive without ego clashes. Yes, a franchisee should be sure about the franchisee he or she will be choosing. Yes. So this is what all about, and thank you for.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aftab Sheikh, for this presentation. Now we'll be moving towards Miss Pooja Sharma's presentation.
Good morning to all. My name is Pooja Sharma. Today my topic is technical skills for entrepreneur in e-commerce. These are the tricks related to my project. I would like to start with the introduction. E-commerce and the online shopping are often used in teaching, whilst e-commerce is much broader than it embodies. Basically, e-commerce is a most considerable and the choosing way of purchasing the different type of products and the services. Nowadays, e-commerce has been replaced with the traditional purchasing. Benefits for the people buying online. These are the three benefits for people buying online. First is lower price. Lower price is managing an online storehouse for the cheaper than the offline for the cheaper and bricks and mortar store. And second is accessibility and the convenience. Unlike many offices stores, consumer can access the e-commerce website 24 hours a day. And the third is wider choice. Basically, wider choice is for the past 20 years, the growth for offline shopping has been large, extended has been around the increased choice with an almost endless of brands and the products. Research methodology and the literature review. Now the survey questions. COVID-19 has affected the lives in many ways. The word online has become the familiar. I have conducted some survey questions on COVID-19 on e-commerce. These are some questions I have collected. Google Analysis Report. These are the Google Analysis Reports, which I have got 216 responses from the previous slide survey from the previous slide questions. Conclusion. We are primarily interested in how coronavirus spread and affected the e-commerce globally. I have also learned about the e-commerce provide alternative ways to people to meet their demand. References. These are the references which I have taken from the Google. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pooja Sharma, for this presentation. Now we'll be moving forward towards Mr. Dakshit Shetty's presentation.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Dakshit Shetty. I study in Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College. My roll number is 41 and I'm pursuing third year BMS. Let's get straight to the topic. So, my research paper topic is Startup India. Now, let's start with the introduction. A startup venture can be defined as a new business that is in the early stages of operation, has begun to grow, and is usually financed by an individual or small group of individuals. It is a young entrepreneurial scalable business model built on technology and innovation, in which founders develop a product or services for which they see demand by creating existing or entirely new markets. Startup is nothing but an idea that appears in business venture. Let's move to the next topic, which is government initiative. Indian government is a serious in promoting entrepreneurship at the startup level and has taken a number of initiatives to ensure appropriate support in this aspect. It is relevant to mention Make in India campaign introduced in September 14 to attract foreign investments and encourage domestic companies to participate in the manufacturing sector. The government increased the foreign direct investments (FDI) limit for the most of the sectors and strengthened intellectual property rights, which are known as IPRs. Protection to still confidence in the startups in order to make the country as number one destination for startups. Government of India has introduced a new campaign called Startup India in 2015, aimed to promoting entrepreneurship among women and to help startups with bank funding. As I know, our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, has said that I see startups, technology, and innovation as exciting and effective instruments for India's transformation. So let's move to the next topic, the Indian startup scenario. It's worth mentioning that more than 800 technology startups are being set up in India. By 2020, around 11,500 tech startups are projected to be established with an employment of potential of about 250,000 tech people last from 2015. It is worth noting that India is one of the top 5 countries in the world in the term of startups, with 10,000 plus led by the US, with 83,000 plus comprising 43 tech-based firms. 9% of female entrepreneurs are managed by the members of incubators has also crossed 100 in 2014 to 50 to fuel the startup saga, the grand throughout 2050. Moving ahead, I have made a breakup of Indian startups which are technology based and non-technology based. So in technology based, e-commerce is 33%, business to business 24%, internet 12%, mobile apps 10%, SaaS 8%, and others 13%. As well as non-technology piece, engineering 17%, construction 13%, agriculture products 11%, textile 8%, printing and packaging 8%, transport and logistics 6%, outsourcing and support 5%, and others 32%. As we see, Flipkart, eBay, or Big Basket, these such kind of things, such kind of companies are startup companies as well as e-commerce companies. Let's move to the next topic. Issues and problems in startups. First, financial resources. The ability of finance is important for startups, and there is always a problem to get a proper amount. There are many finance options available, ranging from family members, friends, loans, grants, angel funding, venture capitalists, crowdfunding, etc. As the business grows, the need also increases. Timely capital is required to expand the business. Proper finance management is critical to success of startups. A recent shows with 85% of new companies are reportedly underfunded, indicating a potential of a failed startup. Our next topic is revenue generation. Many startups fail due to poor revenue generation as the business grows. As operation grows and expenses increase, with less revenue, which force startups to focus on funding aspect, due to which they can't focus on their business fundamentals. Therefore, revenue generation is important. Guaranteeing efficient management of the burn rate, which is qualiquary rate at which startup spends money in the initial stages. The challenge is not to generate enough capital but to expand and sustain growth. Our third topic is team members. One of the biggest challenges is finding and hiring the right kind of talent for the businesses with the skills to meet the growing expectations of customer. Apart from the founders, startups usually start with the term consisting of trusted members with complementary skill sets. Typically, each member is specialized in a special area of operation. Assembling a good team is the first major requirement. Not having one can break a startup. According to a survey, 23% of startups fail because of the members did not work as a team. Del CEO Chirag Garg feels the challenge is to bring in cheap talent at the right time. According to Nitin Sharma, principal and founding member of Lightbox Indian Advisors Private Limited, hiring and retaining high quality talent, especially in the areas of product and technology, remains a major challenge. Our fourth topic is creating awareness in market. Startup fails due to lack of attention to boundaries in the market. The environment for a startup is usually more difficult than for an established firm due to the environment for a startup is usually more difficult than for an establishment firm due to the uniqueness of the product. The situation is more difficult for a new product as the startup has to build everything from the scratch. The next more important challenge is to assess the market requirement, current trends, etc. For the product, innovation plays an important role. as startups have to fine tune the product offering to suit market demands. Also, the entrepreneur should have complete domain knowledge to counter the competition with proper strategies. Due to emerging Due to emerging new technologies, the challenging of providing above and beyond the early innovation is relevant. Amita Garg, the director of Sendicardo, believes that the biggest challenge is the need to constantly innovate and come up with a service to be able to meet and exceed customer expectations. Tenacity of founders. Startup founders have to be tough. The journey of starting a venture is full of delays, setbacks, and problems without adequate solutions. The entrepreneur needs to be persistent, persuasive, and never give up until he achieves the desired result. When things went wrong, sometimes the product may be ahead of its time, or there may be a need of complementary technology products for use by the customers. For an example, Apple had delayed the launch of iTunes until regulations were in the favor of launch. It is also relevant to quote Steve Jobs, who by commenting, many times people don't know what they want until you show them. So, moving to the conclusion, the current economic scenario in India is on expansion mode. The Indian government is increasingly showing great enthusiasm to increase the GDP rate of growth from grassroots level with introduction of the initiative for entrepreneurs like Make in India, Startup India, Mudra, etc. Make in India is a great opportunity for the Indian startups with government going on full force of developing entrepreneurs. It provides an environment to improve availability of local talent for hiring by startup firms. Small contribution from numbers of entrepreneurs would have a great effect on the economy and employment generation, which would complement medium and large industrial efforts for upskilling India into a fast-growing economy. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dakshit Shetty, for this presentation. Now we'll be moving towards Miss Aishwarya Shetty's presentation.
Good morning to one and all. Myself Aishwarya Shetty from BMS and my topic name is Rural Entrepreneurship. We'll start with the introduction. Rural entrepreneurship refers to development of new enterprise which pioneers new product and service. It creates new market for its offering and use of advanced technology for the rural people. It also, in simple terms, it also means to spring up the non-urban areas, as it is also termed as rural entrepreneurship. The objectives of the case study are to identify and diversification of rural entrepreneurship to generate new business ideas and employment opportunity in rural entrepreneurship and to evaluate performance of rural industries through MSME. Now we will come to the advantages of rural entrepreneurship, and they are as follows: to utilize the idle capital, optimum utilization of the local resources, provision of employment opportunities, the migration of rural population could be avoided, the balanced regional growth can be achieved. Promotion of artistic activities, check on the social evil, encourage the rural youth, improve the living standard of the people living over a village area, and it also equitalize the distribution of income. So these are the advantages of rural entrepreneurship. Then we come to pros and cons. There are as follows: physical environment, social environment, and economic environment. There are few sub topics in that. Now we'll come to the factors influencing rural entrepreneurship. To make region attractive, it focuses on identifying local and regional asset and converting them into entrepreneur activity. It also generates local community support for entrepreneur to increase the chance of entrepreneurs will be successful in their ventures. To connect rural entrepreneurship to external market regionally, nationally, and internationally, so they are not dependent upon stagnant local market for their goods and services. To even raise the standard of living, to be more organized, to be more supportive, and the services can be provided well for all the people living in villages. And then there are some problems of rural entrepreneurship as well, because they do not have a good finance. They have lack of finance, lack of knowledge, lack of technical know-how, absence of enterprising skills, lack of infrastructure facilities as well. Then we come to the methodology, that rural industries plays an important role in the national economy, particularly in the rural economy. So we have to it is important not only as mean of generating employment opportunities in the rural area with low capital cost, but also raising the real income of the people. We will go to the conclusion part of our this thing. Rural industries plays an important role in the national economy, particularly in the rural economy. Rural entrepreneur is important for every single aspect when it comes to the development, when it comes to the growing facility for all the people in a whole nation, and it also brings nation together because village is an important part of any country, and we living in India, we know the importance of villages and rural people. So this is all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Aishwarya Shetty, for this presentation. Now we'll be moving towards Miss Shania Singh's presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Sanya Singh. I am from Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College. The topic of my research paper is Entrepreneurship Management in Franchisee Development. So let's start with the introduction. What is franchisee? Franchising is an arrangement where franchisor Party A grants or licenses some rights and authorities to franchisee Party B. It is a well-known marketing strategy for business expansions used by big companies, example McDonald's, Subway, Starbucks, Domino's, etc. Next, we will go to the benefits of franchising. The benefits of franchising are first point, opportunity to base one's business activities on proven market concept and a known brand enables to limit the entry barriers and lower the level of risk of running a business. So it involves low capital investment, and because it is a known brand, the level of risk involved is relatively less. Next, opportunity to start a business activity also in case of a person without the proper preparation in terms of knowledge and capabilities. We can take an example of a brand called Jumbo King. As far as I have researched, you have to invest a sum of rupees 10 to 15 lakhs and select a location, and the organization will send their employees and they will come and help you set the business. So even if a person has limited knowledge in the field, you can still start your own business. We'll go to the next slide, which is drawbacks of franchising. Limitation to one's own initiative and innovativeness resulting from the necessity to work based on a model proposed by the system provider. And the second point is necessity to engage relatively large amount of finance in order to join the system. So for example, if you want a franchisee of a big brand like McDonald's or Domino's, then you will have to invest a very large capital, and the procedure of the following is very complicated as well. And obviously because the brand is big, the level of capital will be big as well, and it will naturally enable bigger risks. The next point is lack of full freedom in managing one's own business with respect to example ownership changes or selling one's company. You don't have the authority to make decisions all by yourself because you are a part of the organization. At the end of the day, you will have to follow certain protocols and rules. We will go to the next slide, which is advantages of franchising. The primary advantages for most companies entering the realm of franchising are capital, speed or growth motivated management and risk reduction. But there are many others as well. I will just quickly list them. The first is capital, then we have motivated management, then we have long-term commitment, then we have better quality management, then improved operational quality, then innovation. Then franchisees typically outmanage managers, under which comes speed, growth, staffing leverage, ease of supervision, increased profitability, improved valuation and reduced risk. Then we'll come to the conclusion. So basically franchising is a very interesting concept of developing entrepreneurship. Its essential benefits include being able to base the business operations on a proven market concept and a known brand, as well as a significant content related technical and organizational support provided by the franchises. As per the suggestions, as successful entrepreneurs are used to leading both staff and franchises, they are constantly re-evaluating processes, changing procedures and learning from others. They can use some of these franchise management skills to demonstrate the expertise within their network and attract new prospects to expand it. For example, making research easy and entice new prospects by posting everything online, and don't shock or overload stakeholders, drip feed information. So thank you. This is all for my presentation. Thank you for watching.
So much Miss Shania Singh for this presentation. Now we'll be moving towards Mr. Ankit Raj Singh's presentation.
A very warm welcome to one and all. I am Ankit Raj Singh from Class T by BMS, and today I am going to present role of information technology in an organization. Now let's talk about introduction. Information technology plays an important role in organization. It becomes a vital and integral part of every business plan, from a multinational business that process systems and database to small and local businesses which own single computers. Information technologies also make work easier to help to reduce the workload of employees in so many ways, like easily accessible data keeping records of works and customers. Information technology is directing communications network to the company, securing data and information, creating and administering databases, helping employees troubleshoot problems with their computers or mobile bias, or doing a range of other work to ensure the productiveness and security of business information. Objectives of study. First, the way IT focus on the growth of business as well as economy. Second, role of IT to help to get work done effectively and efficiently. Third, contribution of IT in reducing workload. Now, importance of information technology. Information technology helps to make and grow the commerce and business sector and induce a maximum possible affairs. The time taken and different sectors to reduce business is now minimized with advancement in information technology. IT provides electronic security, storehouse, and effective communication. Now, information technology management. Information technology management is the operation whereby all resources related to information technology are managed according to organizational priorities and requirements. This includes tangible resources like networking, hardware, computers, and people, as well as intangible resources like software and data. The central aim of IT operation is to induce value through the use of technology. To achieve these business strategies and technology must be aligned. Now, important role of information technology is an organization. First, help desk support analyst. A help desk support analyst are the most visible IT places in a company. They support answering, troubleshooting, resolving specialized issue to help guests and are also responsible for handling complex tasks and ensuring client satisfaction. Second, IT project manager. IT project manager plays an important role in an organization and execute IT project. Why is an organization need to hire IT technicians? Let's see. First, they have risk, cost, and resource management skill. They are multitasker and the ability to work under pressure. Now, IT technicians. IT technicians provide support to customer or employees regarding software and hardware related problems. IT technicians provide support to customers or employees regarding software and hardware related problems. They repair and manage server and also see installation, troubleshooting, upgrades, security, and support to maintain high quality network and computer system. Now, conclusion. IT in business sector as well as through government plays a significant role in rapid increase in hardware and processing ability, forces consumer to purchase, update and modernize technology. On a market level, this rapid turnover creates a demand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ankit Raj Singh, for this presentation. It was an amazing presentation. Now we'll be moving towards Mr. Aditya Vikram Singh's presentation.
A very good morning to one and all present over here. I'm Aditya Vikram Singh from class TY BMS, and the topic for my research paper is Entrepreneurship Development in India from Youth Perspective. Starting with the introduction, entrepreneurs shape economic destiny of countries by creating wealth and employment, offering products and services, and generating taxes for state, due to which entrepreneurship has closely been linked to economic growth of a country. Entrepreneurs convert ideas into economic opportunities through innovations, which are considered to be a major source of competitiveness in an increasingly globalizing world economy. The lack of resources, knowledge, accurate information, legal complications, and negative societal environment makes it more complicated and painful. These problems discourage many young individuals from taking over the chance because of fear of losing and failing in financial crunch. And thus, for this reason, it becomes important to comprehend the topic from youth perspective and list all the vulnerable areas. Therefore, the target of this paper is to research and identify the concepts and then later on analyze to its roles and implications for the Indian economy. The paper aims to supply suggestions that might help or boost youth entrepreneurship and in its impacts for India. There are two objectives of this study. The first one is to study the role and importance of entrepreneurship with respect to growth and employment generation in India. And the second one is to study the opportunities and challenges faced by the young entrepreneurs. Moving on to entrepreneurship development in India. Entrepreneurship is significant for job creation, economic process, and problem solving. It also reflects a society's capacity for risk-taking, innovation, and creativity. In past few years, there has been a high rise in the number of young entrepreneurs as compared to past few years. Functions, scopes, and characteristics of entrepreneurship are as follows. The very first, we have innovation, then risk taking and uncertainty bearing, then comes managerial skills and leadership, organization building, taking business decisions, and managerial functions. Then what's the need for entrepreneurship? Here's the answer. Increases national production, balanced area development, dispersal of economic power, and provide employment. Now let's see what's the relation between youth and entrepreneurship. Though not explored to its fullest, a huge proportion of youth population is driven by entrepreneurship and is taken under consideration as a feasible and more reliable career option as against paid employment. They see entrepreneurship as a way to understand and achieve their goals and be financially independent. Many young individuals who find it hard to work for others find entrepreneurship perfect and fulfilling. However, while many take the entrepreneurship with full enthusiasm and keenness, there's a huge chunk of individuals who take entrepreneurship not out of choice but necessity. Lack of adequate job opportunities forces youth to hunt out alternative means of livelihood. Youth of today is way more entrepreneurial and aspiring than it used to be years back. What the state is witnessing could also be a sort of youth driven growth characterized by radical ideas and methods originating out of young creative minds. However, entrepreneurship in India could be more lauded if we understand the needs and requirements of young entrepreneurs. Next, we have opportunities and challenges. There are certain psychological challenges, such as one, family challenges. Convincing to opt for business over job is not an easy task for an individual. People are more interested in jobs, especially public sector. The most of the young creative energy is consumed by civil services exams, especially in North India. Next challenge we can see is a social challenge, which further affects the thinking of student. Then next we have technological challenges is an another concerning issues cause our education system does not include a major part of it. Next, however, there are a lot of opportunities also available for entrepreneurship, such as free entry into world trade, improved risk-taking ability due to competition and efficiency, encouragement to innovations and inventions, consideration increases in government assistance for international trade, establishment of other national and international institutes to support business among nations of the world are some of the initiatives taken by government to promote entrepreneurship in India. So here comes the conclusion. After having all the research and studies which we got to see from different articles, magazines, and the research which we carried out, we found the following conclusions. The very first is in India, in the past few decades, there has been a major rise in the area of entrepreneurship. Next, today, India has become a fertile ground for breeding new entrepreneurs. Next, young entrepreneurs with their vision and ability to bear risk can transform the economic scene of the country. And the last but not the least, youth entrepreneurship is that one tool which can save any nation from drowning in the sea of high unemployment, poverty, and stagnations. With this, I would like to thank each one of you for giving your valuable time for my research. Thank you so much.
So much, Mr. Aditya Vikram Singh, for this presentation. It was an amazing presentation. Now we'll be moving towards Mr. Aman Singh's presentation.
A very warm welcome to everyone present over here. Myself, Aman Singh from TY BMS. My topic of research papers, entrepreneurship in economic development. Coming to the introduction part. This concept came into existence first in Western countries to modernize or westernized and especially to industrialize. Relationship of economic development is directly related to environment. Development recap economic development as a process of creating, utilizing physical inputs, human power, financial strength, and social efforts to improve the economic status with a good and healthy well-being and good quality of life for every community or region. Two authors, namely Daphne Greenwood and Richard Holt, differentiated economic development and economic growth on the basis of economic development as they found that economic development is a huge base and a sustainable increase in all over the standard of living of an individual within a country. And henceforth, economic growth is not based on per capita income as it do not correlate with the improvement of quality of life. Economic development is a huge concept as it has qualitative dimension. Economic development includes progressive change and economic growth over a certain point for the well-being of individual. For example, better health, good education, way of living, etc. Economic development also focuses on the development of the community to improve the standard of living by raising the level of per capita incomes. Objective of my study to improve the standard of living by raising the level of per capita income, then knowing about a stable market, economic prosperity, business development, and protecting employment. To also know about economic freedom, economic growth, efficiency, and full employment, security, and stability. Entrepreneurship and economic development. One of the most essential economic development is the process of upward change by real per capita income of a country, hence should be increased after a period of time. In economic development, an entrepreneur plays a very important role as they are serving the country and especially the process of industrialization and economic growth. Capital, labor, and technology are only organized by entrepreneurs. This development focuses on stable market, economic prosperity, business development, and protecting employment, economic freedom, economic growth, efficiency, and full employment, stability, and also security. Functions, scope, and characteristics of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur should be a creative, skilled, team building, leadership quality, and of course should be a risk taker. Need of entrepreneur, capital formation, improvement in per capita income, economic independence, improvement in living standard, generation of employment, balanced regional development. Indicators of development. First comes the GDP, per capita income, that is growing development per population, modern transport, gender empowerment measured at GEM, gender development index at GDI. Research methodology to study and collect information about a topic entrepreneurship in economic development. The collection of primary data is of course done by the Google Forms and service, and the secondary data has been collected from online source that mainly includes website, article, and newspaper. Conclusion. In upgrading cities, countries, there are many problems related to development like low consumption of energy with lag in development process of particular countries. In the same way, development process in South-like areas are to be result in coming years as the increase in demand of energy. As per the central theme of Agenda 21, there are many factors due to which this development process is lagging, and due to that reason, there are still environmental problem, poverty, and underdevelopment processes. Economic development is a huge concept and a qualitative dimension. Economic development includes progressive change of economic growth over a certain period of time for the well-being of individuals. Thank you.
So much, Mr. Raman Singh, for this presentation. It was a fabulous presentation. Now we'll be moving towards Shana Sheikh ma'am's presentation.
Okay. Hello everyone. Myself Sana Sheikh, and today I will going to present about my international conference topic, that is a study on rural entrepreneurship in India. Introduction. Before introduction, let me explain now what do you mean by rural entrepreneurship. Rural entrepreneurship actually, in today's scope, if we think about entrepreneurship, there is a very less scope in rural areas. So this is a study which is conducted to find out the scope which is available in rural areas, so that entrepreneurs should know is there any scope available over there, or what are the features of rural entrepreneurship. So let's start. Development of a country depends on its growth in various sectors. In every sector, there is a need for entrepreneurs who are resourceful and passionate to succeed and who are the pioneers on the priorities. Entrepreneurship is a term derived from the French word entrepreneur and the German word Unternehmen, where both mean to undertake. Peter Drucker defined entrepreneurship as entrepreneurship is not a state of being, nor is it characterized by making plans that are not acted upon. It begins with action, creation of a new organization, and it may or may not become self sufficient, and in fact, it may never earn significant revenues. But when individuals start a new organization, then they have entered into the entrepreneurship paradigm. Even in India is a country of villages. About three-fourths of India's population are living in rural and semi-rural areas, out of which 75% of workers force is still earning its livelihood from agriculture and its allied activity. As we all know, India is a developing country, okay, and mostly 75% of population still lives in rural area, and mostly 75% of our population is engaged in agriculture sector. And land is limited, so it is unable to absorb the labor force in agriculture. Therefore, it is essential to develop rural industries to solve rural unemployment, to eradicate poverty and rural migration to cities. Growth and development of the rural economy is an essential precondition to development of the nation as a whole. The gap between the rural-urban imbalance should be reduced. The standard of living of the rural people should be increased. Entrepreneurship in the rural sector provides an answer to the above problems. Now, what are the objectives? The first objective was to investigate the problem faced by rural entrepreneurs. Second, to study the major challenges and obstacles faced by the rural entrepreneurs in India. And the third one, to suggest some measures to solve the problems faced by rural entrepreneurs. Research methodology. The main aim of this research is to determine the respondent perception about rural entrepreneurship in India. Actually, I want to know what are the perception of different entrepreneurs when what they actually think about rural entrepreneurship. Okay, so the study was conducted by using both the method, primary as well as secondary data. Primary data was collected through questionnaires where we connected the respondent and asked a few questions about rural entrepreneurship. The main purpose of this questionnaire was to collect a few details like how many people are about rural entrepreneurship, how many people actually aware about rural entrepreneurship, how many think it is profitable business, and what are the challenges faced by the rural entrepreneurship and the corrective measures to be taken. So, finding after conducting research, the first question was which group do you belong to? I have divided according to the age. The first criteria, if you see 18 to 20, 29, then 30 to 44, then 45 to 59, and 60 above. Majority responses are from the 18 to 29 group. Then, do you know what is rural entrepreneurship? Out of 100%, 71.8% people are aware about what is rural entrepreneurship, whereas 14.1% they are might be they are aware, or 14.1% they aren't aware about rural entrepreneurship. The third question is what do you think there is a scope for rural entrepreneurship in India? When we talk about scope, when I ask such question, so see, almost 73.2% they said yes, there are scope for the rural entrepreneurs in India, whereas little bit a very less percentage they said there is no scope for rural entrepreneurship in India, which actually gives a positive answer for this research. The next question, according to you, which is a major problem faced by the rural entrepreneurship? Okay, so here there are different types of reason. The first one, the major reason is financial problem. As we all are aware, the rural entrepreneurs, they actually face this problem. There is a lack of finance problem, as well as there is lack of infrastructure facility, even marketing problems, management problems, human resource problem, infrastructure, a low level of purchasing power of rural consumer, not enough people educated, all of the above. Okay, so here it is categorized as you can see in this diagram according to the percentage, but the major problem which is faced by the rural entrepreneur is financial problem. The next one, do you think rural entrepreneurship in India is profitable? Definitely is. 57.7% of this said yes, it is profitable in India, whereas very less percentage of people said it is not profitable, and 30.4% say maybe it is profitable. But still, here also we can get a positive response from it. The next one, which is a major challenge faced by the rural entrepreneurship. The major challenges faced by the social and cultural challenges, as we all are aware about this. Okay, the next one, the next problem, the next challenge is by 25.4% they face problem of distribution and logistic problems, transportation and all. And then the third one, 10.7 percentage, it is faced for the payment collection, and the last one is other. So here again, a major challenges which is faced by the rural entrepreneurship is concluded that they face social and cultural barrier or obstacles or challenges for the rural entrepreneurship. The next one, do you think there is a lack of opportunities for rural entrepreneurship? Majority of them said yes, there is a lack of opportunity for the rural entrepreneurship, whereas 19.7 they said hardly, maybe there is a lack of opportunity, they are not sure about it, and whereas 16.9 they said no, there is no chances or there is no lack of opportunity for rural entrepreneurship. The next one, can rural entrepreneurship bring great opportunities and contribute in developing infrastructure? Definitely yes. As you can see, 73.2% majority of them answered in a positive way, and whereas very less percentage of answering no. Do you think rural entrepreneurship in India plays a vital role for economic development of the country? Definitely yes. So majority means again 77.5% they said it is it plays a very important role for economic development of the country. The next one, the last question, if given opportunity, would you invest in rural entrepreneurship? Majority have them answered with yes. 85.9% said yes, there is a opportunity and they would like to continue with this business in rural areas. Conclusion. Thus, from the different viewpoints of the authors, though there are many challenges and issues in rural entrepreneurship, it is found that there are great opportunities for rural entrepreneurs. To make progress and develop and survive in the global market, the challenges would bring in more innovations and with continuous motivation by self, financial, technical, and market amenities. The rural people must be given proper awareness about the scope and various schemes, plans of the government in order to encourage them to become successful rural entrepreneurs. Now, suggestion. Different organizations like IFCI, SIDBI, ICICI, NABARD, etc. are functioning to sort out the various problems faced by the rural entrepreneurs. Marketing problems are mostly related with pricing, distribution channels, production, promotion. In order to make the rural entrepreneurs to state the business venture, following measures may be adopted. The first one, creation of financial institution or cells. As we have studied, financial problem is a major challenges which is faced by the rural entrepreneurs. The second one, by providing less rate of interest. As we all know, the purchasing power is very less as well as income is very less. So they cannot afford too much high rate of interest. Third one, by providing training facility. The next one, appropriate supply of raw materials, creating awareness about rural entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this amazing presentation, Shana, Shaikh ma'am. As the technical session 1 has come to an end, now we'll be taking a short break of 10 minutes. See you all after 10 minutes for technical session 2. Thank you.